Okay, here we go. You ready? I got her figured out. From grasshopper to teacher in 20 minutes. Welcome back to our DIY van build with Dare's Drives. Thanks again for tuning in. So this episode is a little off schedule, but it's because one of the products we bought for our van, which is our Vancillary headliner kit, the owner of the company actually reached out to us asking if he could come by to do some measurements of the brackets and so forth. Because it's a brand new 2019 Mercedes van, they did some changes to the headliner, so Vancillary had to make some changes to their brackets. So I wanted to jump at this opportunity to have him come by and, but that's happening next week, which means we need an actual shelf so that we can do the testing on. So in this episode, I'm going to open up this Vancillary kit. I'm going to show you exactly what it comes with, and we're going to actually make this shelf. We're going to have it all cut out, carpeted, and ready to slide right into that van. Let's open her up. First thing we get is a little postcard. It comes with those two brackets, and it comes with these two brackets. Now, just off the top of my head, I'm going to assume these are probably for the back, these are for the front, but I'll double check that and we'll come back to that. Now it comes with a bag of washers and all your bolts. The big time saver is this right here. This is what we're looking for. So this is an actual stencil. It's going to show you exactly how to build this shelf. So let's just open it up and see what it looks like here. So there is our blueprint right there. It even shows you how to make the end flange. Shows you exactly where your bolts holes are going to go. You can see how it makes it like a slot. So this way you got adjustment room. And it also has the cut in which you actually go around the headliner. So these are the type of things, if you didn't have the Vancillary template, you'd actually have to put corrugated cardboard or something like that up against it, slowly cut out around those edges to ensure you get a good fit. This is already done, ready to rock. So now before we actually get started, I'm just going to go through the materials real quick. So of course we got a stencil in our Vancillary kit. Then what I've decided to go with, now on the actual website, if you look at Vancillary, they recommend a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. But I just wanted a little bit extra rigidity, so what I ended up going with was a 3/4 inch piece of MDF. Just a little bit cleaner and a lot stronger. We have our jigsaw, a pair of scissors to cut out the template, a tape measure just to make sure all our wood is square, and that's it. When I measured this board across here, it's perfectly straight, this cut, so that I can line it up with the edge of my board, meaning that's one less cut I have to do, and then it's going to cut up around the edges. So now that I know I kind of got her in place, I'm going to take the rest of her down, and within minutes we're ready to cut out a shelf. It's that freaking simple. Love it. Oh yeah, and before I get in trouble, safety second. And we now have a shelf. What do you think of them apples, eh? Yeah. And there we go, we have an edge to a shelf. Okay, so I did experience one problem with my design here. I went with 3/4 inch MDF just to be a little bit stronger. This piece here is only 1/2 inch. So I can't actually mount it to the inside unless I cut another piece and add that 1/4 inch to it. Or I mount it on top like that, which will work just fine. So let's take my brackets, put them right up against there. We'll put a dot there and a dot there. And repeat on all four. Okay, so now that we got our shelf and our end cut complete, gonna need some glue. Gonna run it across the bottom bead, okay? So I'm gonna line it up, on. So now I'm gonna take my center clamp and I'm gonna clamp it down. Once I know it's perfectly flush with the back side, then I'll take the other end, and then the final end. I'm gonna grip one right in here in the center, and I'll grab this one in the center as well. And then just for good measure, because I'm all about the overkill, I'd rather it be too strong then not strong enough. Now I'm gonna let this dry for a couple hours. It says about 30 minutes, but I always, you know, overkill again. Then we'll come back and we'll wrap her up with some carpet. Actually, spandex to be correct. Okay, it's been a couple hours. Let's pull this apart. And this is what our final table looks like. Oh yeah, that's solid. Got a nice lip on the front of it. But she's not going in like this, obviously. So, first thing I'm gonna put down is this is a needled cotton, I believe is what they call it. So I'm using it basically as a batting. I don't know, about 1 millimeter thick, I'm gonna say. So this way, when I put this stuff down over top, which is just a gray spandex type material, when you touch it, it's gonna give it just that little bit of softness so it doesn't just feel like spandex wrapped around wood. It will have a soft texture to it, almost like when you push on your door panels, and you can feel it's not soft, but it's got a little bit of give to it. That's kind of what the plan for this is. So let's start with just this piece and see if I can figure out what I'm doing. My plan, however, our starting point should be the back of this lip, because if I'm going to staple it or anything like that, at least if it's behind this lip, my thoughts are it won't be visible because first off it's up high and it'll be behind this lip, so you won't be able to tell that that's where the joint is. So once I got it all laid out nice and smooth, I'm going to take my scissors and just cut around this edge. This is just a rough cut at first, doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. See? We have a nice perfectly fit mat for our table. And now that we know it fits, I will turn this sideways. And we'll lie this the exact direction it needs to be. Put it upside down where we're going to glue it. So if you ever worked with this glue before, there's no rush. Basically you're going to cover the whole surface on the wood shelf side. We're also going to cover the whole surface on our underlay. And then you wait 2 to 5 minutes till it's tacky, then you bond your two pieces together. And don't be cheap on the glue either. There is stuff for $7 a can, and then there's this stuff for $15 a can. This is your glue. This is what's holding it together. You want that to be as good as it possibly can. So now that we've been sitting for a couple minutes, it's got a really good tack going on to it. This is better served with 2 people, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this end. Now the last thing you want to do is you don't actually want to stretch it. You just want to lay it down. And then once we got where it's going to sit, nope, I screwed it up. Haha, I didn't. Ha! You don't think I knew what I was doing? What? Yes! So now, I did cut all the way around the edges. So we'll just, remember that's just underlay. We're going to be gluing that again anyways. And now we're just going to roll that edge over, nice and tight. There we go. And now, we do the exact same thing with this one. What I brought are these pieces of wood, and I'm just going to set a little bit at a time because that's such a flimsy material. Doing it by myself, there's no way I can hold it up, get it straight, and not have wrinkles. There you go. I'd say it looks pretty good. Again, this edge does not matter. We're going to wrap another piece. You won't see that at all. It's flawless. Dares did that. This guy. What? We'll wrap up the rest of this real quick because you see the process now. So now I just got to finish it. so we can put it in the van. Ready? All right. Underlay is down. There's no bubbles in it. It looks solid. Yeah, here we go. So this is the end part. This is the part that I'm the most worried about, because I'm just gonna wrap it up and over and overlap it. Because again, you're not gonna see this side. This is gonna be up towards the roof. Everything else is stuck really good. So I'm gonna wrap it over. I'll glue it, wrap it all over. I think that's how I gotta finish it. I've taken and I've put in staples all the way around the edge, just to ensure it's not gonna let go. And if you hit the subscribe button, which will remind you to tune in next week, you'll see this actually get installed and realize that this top side, you can't see nothing. I really didn't even have to cover it. I did it for practice. So let me show you the side that you do look at. It feels great. It's got like a soft touch to it. It's on there solid. It ain't going nowhere. Check it. The side that you will stare at is flawless. Like, can you believe? It's flawless. I hope you enjoyed. If you stuck around this long, maybe even learned something. And we will see you next Sunday.
Perfect.